Good morning and welcome to season 3 premiere of the Viewscreen. Today is February 16th. I am your host, Amy Nelson.
And I'm your host, Kelvin Wood. The Viewscreen is your weekly Star Trek magazine show, and we're streaming live on YouTube, and we're bringing you news, special features, and lots of love to our Star Trek family all across the world.
Well, Kelvin, we are back for season 3. Can you believe?
I can't believe
3
it's actually
seasons.
arrived. It seems like
I
we've been talking
know.
about it for ages, and then here we are on episode 1. But season 3, if we're going along the Star Trek theme, season 3 when everything gets really good, isn't it? So there's a bit of pressure for us now.
Oh, you are right about that. Well, hopefully, if you were missing us, that you heard us on All Good Things, because we had a couple of really cool things. We finished a series that was taking it from the top, and we got to start a new one, That's a Wrap, where we're going to cover all the season series finales for each of the shows. So that's been fun. We did our first one.
Yeah, we did. We also did a review of the, should I say, infamous Section 31 movie. There were some pretty strong opinions on that episode. So, yeah, if you didn't manage to catch any of the recorded episodes of All Good Things, they are all available for you to go back and stream. So, All Good Things is taking a little bit of a break for the next few weeks while Amy, I, and the rest of the hosts do the view screen with you guys live.
Yeah.
Let's see you.
Yeah. Oh, so what do we have coming up for season 3?
For season 3, well, we've decided to have a little bit of a shorter season. So we're going to 8 weeks rather than 10, mainly based around social calendars and people's availability. But we are continuing with 2 seasons for the year for 2025. So we're going to have a spring and a autumn, fall episode schedule for you. So we're here for the next 8 weeks.
Yeah, and in part because 10 weeks, we didn't get enough All Good Things, and we really do love hosting that show as well. So we were like trying to find the perfect balance between coming on live and then just doing our podcast.
Yeah, other developments and learnings for season 3 is we've had a little bit of a shift in focus in terms of guests. We are welcoming back some regular contributors, so thank you in advance to everyone for coming back on. And we've got some new people as well to join us. But we're really focusing on our friendship group and getting to know people more about what they do for passions, maybe outside of Star Trek, or how it links in with Star Trek, and just kind of giving people a little bit of a spotlight and a feature. But we're also inviting on some of the other shows from the network. So you all remember we had Matthew Dempsey from the Food Replicator. He'll be on during the run, and we'll be having Joe and Kevin from Backlit Battles too. So we want to really feature and celebrate all of the BQN shows here on the Viewscreen.
Yes. And we just want to shout out to those who are watching live. Very excited to see you. Say hello to us in the chat. We see our good friend Joel. Hello.
It's lovely to see everybody. Thank you all for joining us. But make sure you do hit the subscribe button and the like, and you can get alerts as well to be notified. Sometimes the plugins and interactions with social media, especially Meta, if I can use that particularly swear word, Amy, I'm sorry for saying Meta.
Oh, yes.
It doesn't like to notify people anymore. So you really need to subscribe on YouTube so that you get the pop-ups, so you don't forget that we are going live.
Yeah. And a huge shout out to our podcast listeners. Thank you for subscribing. You can download for the next 8 weeks. We'll be here in your ear holes.
So, Amy, it's Valentine's Day weekend.
Yes,
How
it is.
spent it? After we did our Valentine's series finale on All Good Things, where we maybe shared or even overshared a little bit of our dating past and previous. So, yeah, how did you spend the weekend? Did you get yourself a lovely bunch of flowers, or maybe did anyone send you any?
Well, it was actually I did buy myself some flowers, some mixed roses. It was very
No.
beautiful, fragrant. And surprisingly enough, I got some wonderful teacher gifts from my
Oh,
students that
beautiful.
yeah, working with at risk, they don't normally remember to think or have the funds to think. So to receive, I got 3 and it just warmed my heart. So I was very full of love and celebrating the power of love. If you are single like me, it doesn't have to be, a romantic love, but the power of love really can change the world. And so I decided to celebrate that this year.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And what about you? I think you had some special visitors this weekend.
Yeah. It's not the most Valentine's-y thing to do to invite another couple to come and stay with you for the weekend, although, nothing wrong with that. We have our good friends Joe and Ewan from Scotland coming to visit us this weekend. So they arrived yesterday, and I am caked in makeup and very artificially lit at the moment because I am a little bit worse for wear. We were hitting the bars of Canal Street until maybe 2:30 this morning.
Oh,
So
wow.
I've sent them back out for round 2 so I can
Oh,
focus on you guys
okay.
here. But it's lovely to see them both.
Oh, wonderful. Well, hello, Sean, and has a question. How many plates have you, Kelvin? Do they go
Oh,
from Janeway all the way down to Kim?
do you know what? It's a good question that I don't actually know how many I've got. They're just in a little stack on the corner. The Troy plate you'll see behind you was actually brought away from the stack from when you were visiting last year, Amy. So we put it in your
Yes.
guest room to make you feel at
Mhm.
home with a bit of Diana. But they were actually presents that were found at a shop by one of James's colleagues, one of his university professors. So she bought them and gave them to James, and they just live here in my little Star Trek man cave. But thanks for
Mm,
asking.
yes. And well, hello there, Eric. Unfortunately, this is comes as a shock, I know, but we will not be on the cruise this year. We do hope that you have a fabulous time, though, Eric.
We do, we do. It's going to be FOMO central for me, seeing
Yes.
everyone having a fabulous time on the cruise, setting off at the end of next week. But yeah, it's a shame I can't attend because James is not allowed to take time off during term time. So being a
Mhm.
teacher, he's not able to attend. He did say I could go on my own, but I would feel terrible doing that. So we've decided we're doing Vegas this year, but we're gonna get onto that a little bit later. But have a wonderful
Yes.
time to everyone who's going on the cruise.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
Well,
shall we see what we've got coming up on today's show?
yes.
Okay, so filling in for Kristin this week. Kristin returns next week. We've got Christian Carter delivering all the news. Hey, Christian.
Hello.
And we have Ben Pickos here covering this year's upcoming conventions and events.
Hey, Ben. And finally, we welcome back JJ to talk all about the 3D printed pins that he is now famous for delivering. So we can't wait to get an update on those and some special surprises as well there. So, hey, JJ, nice to have you.
We have got a packed show for our premiere. We are so excited. So, shall we begin?
Indeed. Let's head
So,
over to the newsroom. Hey, Christian, you've got a jingle.
I got a jingle. I love it's Kristin though. She's so beautiful.
I know. You know what she said to me in the week? She said, if anyone's filling in for me, I'm just so delighted that it's Christian. So you are a
mhm,
hand-selected
yeah.
replacement for the
I
week. She's
know.
off celebrating this week, so she was unavailable for episode 1.
I love her so much.
How are
Yeah.
you? What
I
have you
can't
been up
do.
to recently?
I can't be as articulate as she can, but I'm gonna do my best to push through this real quick. Yeah.
What's been going on?
I've been working a lot. I've been pulling like 60 to 65 hours a week.
Wow.
Working nonstop. Just trying to save up for Lots of trips this year. That's my goal. So
Now,
putting
are
everything-
you on the cruise this year?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
I'm so I mean, I'm not. It'll be fine that y'all are not there, but it's not going to be great. I wish you were there. I was thinking about it yesterday. I was like, man, it hurts.
Oh,
It's
you're not
gonna
duty
be
bound to say
weird.
that.
It's going to be very weird for me. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be
I miss
great.
it, you know. But we got
Yeah.
Vegas. We'll talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Vegas.
Yes.
It'll be
Right.
fun.
Okay. Well, let's hit us with your research for the week. What's going on in the world of Star Trek?
Oh, right. Well, we got some things that I was checking out today, but we got Colm Meaney's. He's getting his Lifetime Achievement Award, and I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, he's worked his whole life. He's done a lot of things, and he's getting it. So they're giving him this great award, which I think is pretty awesome.
You know, from all the interviews and panels, and he doesn't really come a lot to STLV, but you know, we hear people talking about him. He is just, I've always heard everyone say he's just a very professional, very down to earth, kind person to work with, and like that you get what you see with him.
Right. I think that's great. And I'm really excited for him. I mean, he's 71 right now, and he's still pushing it. He's still doing it, having a blast doing it, and I like it.
As Sean points out, the most important man in Starfleet. It's
right.
you would believe the lower decks reference there. Thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
Oh.
So next. Okay, so today I was actually looking this up because Lower Decks is doing their complete series on DVD, so you can actually have a physical copy of Lower Decks, and it comes with like 10 hours of extra footage, which is very exciting. So I'm really excited about that. But I was looking up because I'm definitely going to place my order for that because I love having physical copies of things just to make sure. It's my little greedy hands wanting any little Star Trek piece. Like I need more, but just to have it, put it on a shelf, and I'll open it up and watch it. Then I'll be back on the shelf for a while. But it'll be fine. And then added to this though was this the Lower Decks comics, which I really do enjoy as well. I like a continuation of something because my heart hurt when that final episode hit, and I wanted more. And I always look online at least once every 3 or 4 weeks for maybe something with Lower Decks or Star Trek Legacy, just something to snack me back in because I really, really want that to happen. But it's not, I know, but I want it someday. Hopefully. Guys, I'll go next.
Oh, wait, hold on. Go back.
Okay, go back.
So we know it's very important to have that physical media. So this is all 5s and 10 hours of extras. Like that's super exciting. And I'm wondering, do they show like a lot of like drawings, sketches before, or do they still have interviews? I've never seen extras for an animated.
So. I haven't either, but but I saw some like fun little clips of all of them kind of like laughing together and telling little stories and stuff. And I'm hoping that they kind of format that and fix that and put that in there as well. And
maybe if any of the viewers have watched any of the standalone season special features, let us know if they show any of the kind of the animation process. But I was going to say, I know Christoph is very passionate about getting physical media because he doesn't really trust the streaming services of when they're going to remove things. And, you know, so just having that permanent copy is very important.
It is. And I really do love listening to the commentary of everybody talking. Like, especially for a lot of movies and shows that I have too, that little extra bit, I'll sit there and just laugh and like smile the whole time listening to it because it puts that extra love for me back into the show.
Yeah. Joel says the other series Blu-rays have commentaries, some animatics. How do you say that? Animations and behind the scenes interviews.
Brilliant.
So,
Thanks,
probably
Joel.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys want to go to the next one?
Okay.
because I'm excited. Okay, so I'm excited about this one. So this is it's the anniversary of yesterday's Enterprise this week, and it was it's this week. It's February 19th, 1990 is when it aired. 1990, y'all.
Wow.
Gosh, you guys.
I remember watching it.
Yes.
I remember watching it first time, and I remember because I love Guinan so much. I love it all so much, anyways. But I just remember just that look she gave Tasha.
Oh, right. And still, the cold open still gets you.
Gets every time. It's so good. Yeah, and I watched it again recently, and it's so good. And it's voted one of the best episodes of Star Trek. And it's everything about it is awesome. And I can never get old watching that episode. But when I saw that, I'm like, of course it is. Of course it's the anniversary of that. Because I'm actually rewatching it again. And I just started season 4. Like I'm on episode 3, I think, right now. But yeah, I just started all again recently. So every time I come home from work, I try to watch an episode before I go to bed. So
well, good. Everyone can watch yesterday's Enterprise today or tomorrow, as is the anniversary.
Definitely watch it again, just to touch base with it, because it's a really good feeling, and I love everything about it.
And we just saw Rachel Garrett on Section 31, so
awesome.
very timely.
I thought that was awesome. But if I'm not mistaken, I think it says that they filmed that in like 7 days. That episode.
What, yesterday's Enterprise?
Yeah, like and I think they gave them, and if I read this right, they gave them extra money for the budget for the end scene, just because they loved it so much, which is interesting.
Nice.
Brilliant.
Oh, good.
And then right beside that is LeVar Burton, the one and only, and it's his birthday this week, and he's still doing it, looking great. Having a good time. I mean, there's nothing like it. I mean, he's done it all. He has done it all, and I just think it's fantastic. But I remember as a kid watching Star Trek and just thinking that he's so cool. And then my sister had those those banana
clips.
Banana clips. And my dad spray painted one silver for me.
Awesome!
And I tried to attach it with a string, like they glued it, and I was like trying to put a string around it. I just remember how much I loved that character so much.
I got a little funny story there from growing up. In my family, my dad, my brother all watched Next Generation. My mother is the only one who doesn't watch Star Trek, but she has one of those clips, and she used to run around the house saying, "Has anyone seen where my Geordie LaForge is?" So she actually started calling the clip her Geordie LaForge, even though she
That's
great.
Gosh. I love that though.
That's good.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my god! But yeah, what a good combo right there. That picture is great. We got yesterday's Enterprise and LeVar Burton.
Yeah.
Framed that little picture for myself. But I do love this poster that somebody made of it. It's a great poster.
It is. Definitely.
I love that. Okay, we can do next if you want. Okay, well, here we go. Andrew Robertson. So he is 83 today?
Wow.
No, 83, sorry, on 83 on 2 days ago. I think it's what it was.
Wow.
But yeah, one of my favorite characters of all time in Star Trek. Like, I can't get enough. And I know this is going to hurt Kristin, but Kristin loves him so much. So much.
She's given special permission for you to talk about her man.
Yeah, well, it was so funny because when y'all asked me to do this, I was like, I looked up some stuff and I was like, oh, she's not going to be happy. But she loves him so much. She has a great picture that she took with him, and I love it so much. But he's going at it, and I think everybody has a special kind of love of his character. It's so good. It's so good.
Yes.
Yeah, and I even made sure that Kristin's got some little Garrett gifts coming up. because she
good.
loves it so much. I was like, she needs it. But he's a great person. And I remember being on the cruise and him reading from his book. And we just sat there with my eyes closed, just listening to you read in the voice and picturing the character. And I was just like, wow, what a great moment to experience and have. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan in the chat says, Andrew Robinson is a complete delight, and Garrick is one of the highlights of DS9.
I agree.
Well said.
Yeah.
Great. It is awesome. And I think we have next is the last one. Yes. So I think Christos put this on here. I'm not sure.
That's right.
But we talked about it. So this is the new series of action. I mean, it's a series of I guess action figures and just some really great figures in itself. But it's from a UK-based company called Master Replicas. And they're going to start doing a whole line of these great figures. Because what was the article that started it all is really kind of awful. But it says, after a poorly received attempt to revive the Star Trek action figure line, we now have a new series of action figures. So hopefully that will jumpstart that fan base again to start.
Yeah.
The more we buy, the more they'll make.
They're the same size as the Playmates.
Yes.
Is it 4.5 inches? And they purposely said they're not going to repeat the figures that people already have in their collection.
Yes.
So the unsuccessful relaunch that you just mentioned there, Kristin, they redid TNG Data, TNG Riker, Picard. I've actually bought them again. They're on the shelf behind me. But we want the new figures, and we want them to replace and fill in the gaps of characters we don't have, like Every Dax, like Nog. So really excited that they can be displayed alongside your original action figures.
Yes, I'm really excited about these. Like, I really need more action figures, but like I said, if you keep buying them, they'll keep making them, and I'm down. I'll buy them.
I believe the pre-order is open now for Picard and Spock because they're going to release one a month, which is quite a quick turnaround, I think. I'm going to be skint.
That's why I'm working so much for these little tidbits.
So I thought this, all of them looked realistic, except, and I asked the group, I'm like, who's that to the left of Picard? And you guys are Riker, because I'm like, is that Admiral Vance? Riker is a little bit larger. I guess you can't show the different sizes of people. Like even Worf looks bigger than Riker. And I would say Riker and Worf are, same size. I don't know. Riker's the only one that I don't like, but everyone else I think looks great.
Yeah, there's a bit of height differential though, which you don't usually get. They usually standardize the height, but Jonathan Frakes, as we all know, is a massive guy, so you would expect him to be the tallest there.
Right.
Yeah.
You have Worf and Spock.
Jonathan saying they did Riker dirty.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, let's bring in the rest. Yeah.
And Ben.
Ben.
Lovely. Right, guys, what did you think of the news? Ben, anything grabbing your attention there?
Absolutely. I'm dying to know, are they going to replicate Spock's posterior in the degree of detail that it deserves to be replicated in?
I do hope so.
Like, I need to see the backside of those action figures for me to make that pre-sale.
We need the 360.
Stand him on display and turn him around so he's facing the wall.
Right.
Brilliant.
They do look great, though, and I'm encouraged that Ben Robinson, who was the man in charge of the former Eagle Moss line of starships, is in charge of the new action figure line. So in his hands, I think we'll get good quality and a good assortment, and not the 10,000th copy of Kirk, Picard.
Right. Well, Sean in the chat says that the small print says final design subject to change. So things might different, hopefully, with the Riker one.
Yeah,
Oh,
and Joe
yeah, I
says
really
actually
thought it was.
it looks more like Shaw, not Riker, which I agree with. Actually, that's a great point.
Huh.
Cool. JJ, what do you think of the news there? Any headlines grabbing your attention?
I was really excited to see the Lower Decks complete set. Although I have already bought 3 seasons, I need to learn to be patient and wait till it comes out. Because now I got to buy the whole set, and then I'll have these extra 3 seasons. But yeah, I'm really excited to see that.
Brilliant.
And those action figures, those, especially the Lower Decks ones, those ones look really cool to me.
Yeah.
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 Excellent. Wonderful. Well, Kristin, thank you so much for stepping into Kristin's shoes for the week. It's a delight to see you. Stick around for the rest of the show so you can chat with Ben and JJ about their features coming up soon. But for the meantime, thank you very much, guys. We'll see you in a bit.
All right. Well, our next guest, we had the pleasure of meeting on the cruise. Ben Pickos is going to be telling us all about, since we met you on the cruise, upcoming for 2025, our conventions and events. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Amy. Hi, Kelvin.
Hi, so lovely to see you. As if we've not already spent all our money now on merchandise suggestions, you're now going to tell us on all the holidays we've got to go on as well over the next year.
Happy to.
How have you been? Are you all ready for... You're going on the cruise as well, aren't you, next week? Are you all ready?
Yes, Ronnie and I are going on the cruise next week. I packed
Now,
the suitcase of the
do
cosplay
you have...
yesterday.
Okay, so we have group cosplay we're going to see?
At least pair cosplay.
Okay.
Ooh.
So no group.
We've got a couple of looks up our sleeve that haven't been shared yet because we want the surprise.
Surprise. Yeah.
And
you guys are so good with that.
Be returning that go all the way down this year?
You know, we've got another makeup prosthetic look in hopes of rivaling the spots that go all the way down. That you'll just have to stay tuned to
wait and see.
Wow.
Oh, not jealous at all. We'll have a fabulous time. But in the meantime, take us through the convention circuit then. What's coming up this year?
All right. So top of mind in exactly 1 week from today, Star Trek The Cruise 8 will be leaving from Miami. This is a slight switch up from last year. It left out of Port Canaveral, which is closer to Orlando. But I know that at least all of us East Coast folks are glad that we're leaving from this side and not Los Angeles like 2 years ago. But I guess it's only fair to switch it up every once in a while because people do travel from all over. But it will, to echo Christian, it will not be the same without you. It will be great. It will be fun, but you will be very, very missed. The cruise this year is traveling to Costa Maya, Cozumel, and Belize, which are 3 new ports that I don't believe Star Trek The Cruise has sailed to previously. It's the 30-year anniversary of Voyager, so we have the entire Voyager cast minus Robert Beltran joining us, and no Jennifer Lynn, but
we get it.
Yeah.
Well, $10. Oh, $10 says Robbie Duncan McNeil is going to cancel.
You know, this is as close as we've ever gotten to the sail away date where he has not yet canceled. But in some timeline, Jennifer Lynn is still on the convention circuit, and it makes me sad that she's not able to be included in what was probably a really big thing in her life, or maybe the biggest thing that she did with her life. But The rest of us will be celebrating with the Voyager crew to celebrate the 30th year anniversary. And we will be sure to bring back stories, pictures, and lots of news to update you with afterwards.
Wonderful.
All right, next. I just feel drunk with power saying next and the slide changes just like that. You know what I should say? I should say computer next. And there it goes, like magic. So this next event is, I think, it almost seems too good to be true because it is advertised as the Enterprise D bridge as seen in Picard. And it is in Universal Studios Hollywood, makes sense because Picard was filmed in LA. But if you've seen any of the production behind the scenes photos, they've got signs, don't track dirt, don't sit on the chairs, don't touch this, don't touch that. And I'm thinking, are they just going to let people go up and push the buttons? Or what? I mean, really and truly, it is a treasure. And I think it's wonderful that they're opening it up to the public to be able to come in and see it with their own eyes. But at the same time, I hope there's some measure of them protecting it from, too many pairs of grubby little fingers touching and pushing the buttons and doing whatever else. But this is one that I would seriously consider trying to go and do, even though it is a long flight for us, just because how many other times do you get to, even if you don't get to sit in the captain's chair, how many times do you get to see the captain's chair? This is pretty cool. And there are actually other fandoms that are represented during these FanFest nights. So if they're escaping me at the moment, but I'm sure you can go and look it up. If you're a fan of something else, they might have sets or props or costumes or other relics from a number of other franchises that you can visit during your trip to Universal Studios Hollywood.
Yeah, I definitely need to get out there. I'm just in Las Vegas, so I just need to fly on over there. I need to get with Christo so he can come up. I think I need to arrange a little away mission. That's what I need to do. But you're right about with all the traffic. I mean, we know the conundrum that they had to find the right color of carpet, and now everyone's going to be walking on this carpet. No, I don't want to see that. I mean, I get that I would want to push the buttons, but I want to sort of protect it. So like when they have it like a STLV, they'll bring a bridge set and then they'll, rope it off, maybe they'll do it like that where you can just see it, but interacting with it. Yeah. People are going to break it.
That's what I think, Amy. I think it'll be roped off to view, but I think there'll be a replica captain's chair adjacent for photo ops, and then they'll charge you a fortune for the photo. So I don't think you'll get to sit in the real one. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I can't imagine that in hordes of children with sticky, grubby fingers all over sort of prized possessions. And sometimes the replicas, they take good pictures too, unless you really, really go into detail. The ones I've got on the wall behind me are from a UK convention. That was the Enterprise D bridge, and it looks great. So yeah, don't ruin it.
I wonder if some of the touring sets came from the Star Trek experience in Las Vegas. Were those just struck when it closed, or did they preserve any of that?
Well, last I heard, they moved because they were going to put it in somewhere in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. I know that they're out there because there was talk of recreating it somewhere else. But when they created the new slot machine, TNG, they brought in one of the TNG bridge captain's chair. So I have my picture in the chair amongst casino business, so I know that there's random chairs out. So I'm wondering if they would have like that chair that is on that was used on screen, but it's not, you know, the official with the set.
That would make sense.
We have Sean saying the original chair was stolen off set and came up for auction recently, then withdrawn and is being returned. Well, there you go.
Yes, that's right. I remember that story.
So someone either has a conscience or was threatened with legal action.
Probably the latter.
Probably. All right, next slide, please. Speaking of sets, this is the original series set tour in Ticonderoga, New York. For those that aren't especially familiar with Northeastern geography, this is upstate New York. I think it's maybe 2 or 3 hours north of New York City. And they have recreated, to my understanding, an exact replica of the original series set. And not just the bridge, engineering, the transporter room, but actually in the configuration that they were laid out in on the soundstage where it shot. So you walk out this door and you would see exactly the same thing that the actors would have seen as they were coming and going from set. Now, William Shatner will be there June 27th, 28th, and 29th. I have a colleague that lives actually very nearby in Saratoga Springs, New York, and he's been several times when William Shatner has been there. And yeah, I've seen photos of Captain Kirk in the chair, and it's almost like story time with the children sitting around, you know, around the edge of the bridge, listening to him tell stories about his experience and what it was like to shoot the show back in the 60s. But if you've ever wanted to see Captain Kirk sit in Captain Kirk's chair, this is a great opportunity to do that. We went and saw William Shatner speak on the cruise, I guess it was 2 years ago. And it's remarkable how youthful and vital he sounds when he speaks. I mean, he's 92, 93 years old now. And most people, by the time they get to that age, you can tell that they're 92 or 93 years old. But he must have had some real good hypo sprays back in the day, because he is well preserved and is not aging.
Yeah, very sharp.
Well, this set is definitely worth going to. And yes, there's no airport nearby. You have to like go there. And it's beautiful country, so you get that as a bonus. But yeah, you get to go in and like walk out the corridor, and you're in the hallways, and it is such an amazing set tour. I'm not the biggest TOS fan, but this place is truly remarkable. And they are working on some TNG sets as well. Sean in the chat says they've got the con and ops consoles and the chairs already built. And when I say screen accurate, it is. And they try to get the original pieces if they can find them. But when they recreate them, it's painstakingly just like exact. So seriously, go check it out. Highly recommend.
Very cool. All right, next slide, please. Amy, your hometown con, STLV 2025. It is August 6th through 10th this year, and it is back at the Rio once again. This is one event that I've never been to, and I think it's a rite of passage. So many people in the fandom community, in, you know, even within our smaller cruise community, those connections started at STLV.
Yeah.
And great place to have an away mission, because what happens there stays there. And so hopefully, unlike Harry Kim, you don't have to come back and have the doctor treat you for anything questionable afterwards.
You usually do. It's called con crud.
Yeah. Yeah, Ben, I hear what you say there about the meeting point. I went to STLV in 2019, where I first met Amy. I was introduced to most of the friends that we know in our social group through Joe and Ewan, who were visiting me this weekend. So it is such a great place to form those friendships and network and meet those connections. But it was especially timely because we went in 2019, met everyone, and then obviously the pandemic shortly after. But we all got each other through the pandemic through our weekly Zoom calls and just maintained. And some of the best friends that me and James have got now is all thanks to us saying, let's go to Vegas. Let's treat ourselves to an expensive holiday. And it's probably the best money we've ever spent.
Yep.
And where would you recommend that people interested in attending stay? At the host hotel, or do you have preferences in other places?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, go to the Rio. There is a hotel right next door that a lot of Trekkies stay at. That's called the Gold Coast. But you want to be right there because the hotel really has everything. And some people don't even leave for the week. But Vegas also has shows that if you come early, you can go, and great dining options. So really, Vegas is a good place to.
Yeah, I would say no offense to the Rio, but it's not the most modern and it's certainly not the best hotel in Vegas. But when me and James went, we stayed the first half of the week at the Venetian, which is one of my favorite hotels in Vegas. But as people were arriving into the Rio and announcing on social media, hey, I'm here, I've arrived, we just wanted to get there and get started with the con. And also you've got the added bonus of if you're staying there, you can nip up for a costume change halfway through the day. So I would really advise to, save your money, get to the Rio and just be in the thick of it.
And don't forget the Masquerade Bar really is everything because that's where it all happens.
That's our bar. We've claimed that for the gays and guests.
Sounds like a great opportunity to make connections with Trekkies far and wide. And
yes,
STLV is the San Francisco Starfleet headquarters of present day 21st century Earth.
I love that. Are you tempted, Ben?
I am tempted. Yes. Last year we had a conflict. We traveled elsewhere during August, but I don't know that we have anything coming up then. So I'll put it in the strongly considering column.
Yes.
All right. Next slide, please. Okay. And Kelvin, this is for your side of the pond. Destination Star Trek, the official, unofficial European convention, which will be in Blackpool this year between the 29th and the 31st of August. And it's European because here in the advertisement, they have the dates before the month.
Yeah, the correct way around.
Have you been to Destination Star Trek before?
I have. I've been to when it had its official status. It used to be either in London or Birmingham, and it's in recent years transferred to Blackpool. It's lost its official status. Blackpool is within the northwest of England, so it's only like a 30-minute car journey from Manchester, where I live. It's one of those things, destination now, that it's almost so bad that it's good. It's very important that we go and show support for these conventions. And I know last season we had Misty Chance, who's our local Manchester drag queen, who is very involved with putting on the show at Destination. And I agree, Misty says, if we don't attend these things, they just won't happen. So it is very important. But the hotel that they chose, it's quite comical. It's particularly run down. It's a little bit like the Rio in a way.
I was about to say, okay, Rio.
That charm that, yes, it's a bit crap, but it's ours and we love it. And yeah, it is just a lot of fun. Blackpool is also a really good seaside town. So it's great for a night out. It's got a fantastic gay scene. So even if you didn't want to have a big night at the Norbreck Castle, if you go to meet your friends, like we all do, you can have a great night out after the convention ends around the local nighttime economy and have a great old time. So I look forward to seeing anyone who's going to Destination in August. It's actually the week after Manchester Pride, so I'll probably be hungover there too. Great.
Well, you've done a great job of selling it, Kelvin. So beam me up. I'm on board.
Yay.
Well, those are the upcoming events.
Wonderful. Thanks,
Okay.
Ben.
Thank you.
Right. Well, let's bring in Kristin and JJ. And so, Kristin, you start us off. What are you attending this year? We know you're on the cruise.
I'll be on the cruise and STLV. They're already set in motion, so it's good. And I'm excited that you're going to be there, though. That'll be fun, Kelvin.
Yeah. I can't wait for STLV this year.
And I know I can't wait to see Amy. I feel like I haven't seen you in so long, face to face.
I know.
Sucks. It really does. But it's going to be fine. We're going to see each other soon before that. So,
Yeah, well, we all can't go to Ticonderoga because we're going to be elsewhere.
yeah.
And what about you, JJ? What conventions are you doing this year?
So I'm absolutely going on the cruise. I'm going to miss you all so much. It's going to be weird not having you there, right? Because oftentimes it's always like, where's Amy? Where's Kelvin? So it's going to be different. So I am going to STLV. I completely forgot, and Ben, thank you for putting that up, about that Universal Studios Hollywood, because I saw that a while ago and I was like, I absolutely have got to see this, right? Because I remember the Las Vegas Star Trek experience, and I always wanted to go when I was a kid, and then I didn't go, and obviously now I can't go. So this is something I absolutely want to be a part of. So Amy, if you're putting together a away mission, please count me in.
All right, I'm going to make this happen.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And guys, make sure you drop in the chat as well if you're watching. Let us know what you're going to this year, so we know we can see you in person and say thank you for watching us on the view screen.
Yeah, well, Joel in the chat was at Star Trek San Francisco, which happened last month and already done. And I saw your pictures, Joel. They were great. Looked like a fun time. Very
Brilliant.
good.
Ben, thank you so much for putting all of that together. You have now lost your view screen virginity. You're now one of us. You can come back again. Thank you so much.
I couldn't think of a better group to lose it to.
Oh.
And thank you so much for the invite.
No worries.
Thank
Well,
you.
stick around and we'll hear from you later. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a little break before we catch up with JJ. What shows are on BQN, you ask? Well, here's a rundown of some podcasts you might be interested in. All Good Things, a Star Trek Universe podcast covering all of Trek, hosted by Amy, Christos, Kelvin, and Kristin. Whether you've got Xbox or Nintendo, check out Bargain Bin Gamer, a YouTube show hosted by Davey and Mitch, self-proclaimed gamers who specializes in reviewing and showcasing affordable video games. Grab your popcorn as you listen to Cinema Z, a film discussion and review podcast showcasing films you probably missed but should definitely check out, hosted by Mark and Matt. Don your apron for the Food Replicator, where Matthew eats and drinks his way through Star Trek cocktail and 3 cookbooks. Beam aboard Galaxy Class, a Star Trek Next Generation podcast covering all of TNG, hosted by Steven. In order to not repeat it, listen to History with the Szilagys, a snippet of historical events from around the world, hosted by Chrissie and Jason. For the newest Trek coverage, check out Infinite Diversity, hosted by Chrissie and Thad. Curl up with a good book and delve into Beta Canon with Peter, host of the Trek Book Club on Twitter and Bluesky, and his companion Trek Book Club podcast. Test your Trek knowledge with Treksperts Quiz, a Star Trek quiz show hosted and written by Davey and MC. If you're a member of Starfleet Federation or Planetary Union, go check out Union Federation, covering current Star Trek and the Orville, which we all know is really a Trek show, hosted by Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley. Head over to YouTube and watch the Viewscreen live on Sundays, your Trek-inspired talk show hosted by Kelvin and Amy with new 8-week seasons in the spring and fall. Spill the tea with Christos while he discusses current Trek news and events and explores the world of fandom via guest interviews, all with an LGBTQIA+ perspective on What's the Tea, Bev? And for our patron members, we have the Hive Mind with script readings and roundtable discussion. It's Green, a cornucopia of topics, then Amy's Math Moments, a quick look at math moments in Star Trek. You can keep up with all of these shows by following the network at BQN Podcasts on Instagram and Bluesky. We know you have a choice of podcasts to choose from, and we thank you for listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm just laughing and smiling to myself there as we just recap those shows that are available on the network. This morning, I watched Davey's recent episode of Treksperts Quiz, I think, which was live last night. And I was so hungover, I hardly got any questions correct. So you must know how that would have made me feel, Amy.
Oh my goodness, like Kelvin, king of trivia. My goodness. Well, I heard that Jim McMahon, Trivia with Jim, he wrote the questions, and I heard they were very difficult.
I was swearing at the screen at Jim's for making it so difficult. So, Jim, when you come onto the view screen a little later this season, a touch easier, please, for us. If you wouldn't
frustrate everyone.
Wonderful. Right, guys. Well, it's time to welcome our final guest for the day and reintroduce and welcome back to the view screen. It's JJ. JJ, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Kelvin and Amy? It's so good to see you too.
Yes.
Thank
well,
you
how
so
have you
much.
been? Yes.
I've been good. I've just recently had a career change. I left Thermo Fisher Scientific, and I'm now with a software company working to sell some software. So it's a completely different career change, but it's really exciting, and I'm learning a lot. I was just out in Vegas. I tried to see Amy, but it was crazy.
Too much work.
Yeah. But I might be out there again soon. So if I am, I will try to see you there.
Carve me out a little time, just a little.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, well, all the best for your new job, JJ. That sounds exciting. Having so I thought you meant you just changed companies, but you're doing a completely different role now. How exciting.
Yeah. It's a very that's exactly why I chose it, right? I like to put myself, like I don't like to be comfortable, right? And so putting myself in a situation where I can grow and become more, I love it, right? And I love the challenge. So
I've recently changed jobs too, and I'm looking at a post-it note just off screen. I changed the job, and I didn't know if I was enjoying it very much. And I've just put on my post-it that the role change is an opportunity to learn and try something new and develop new skills. So where I'm kind of, thinking, when I'm having a bad day, I just look at that and think, I should be really, really grateful for this opportunity to do something new. I'm now a product manager, would you believe? So that's a new direction for me. So yeah, I feel what it's like going into a new role. So every success, mate.
Thank you.
I want to jump in. I'm on a new role as a counselor. Went from a teacher to a counselor, and definitely you learn a lot. So
brilliant. So, JJ, we've invited you back to give us an update on your really, really amazing pins. Tell us a little bit about like the process that goes in. I know you've featured on the view screen before. But they've just exploded in popularity over the last few months. You're doing so well. You've got such a reputation for them now. I bet you're dreading every time mail arrives in case it's a lawsuit for them. They're more popular than the official ones, I would say.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Well, I started. When did I start this? It was like I got the idea right in 2023 when I went to. I think that was my first STLV. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe that was my second one, and I got the
I think it was
idea.
your second.
Yeah, I think it was my second, and I talked to Amy about it and kind of made it happen, and it's kind of morphed into something that I did not at all expect. However, I think it's a great opportunity to continue to talk about, infinite diversity and infinite combinations to further, acceptance and making sure people are seen and feel valued and visible, right?
Mhm.
And that I think has been amazing, right? Like I think at this 2024 STLV, I think I made like 500 badges. I gave out almost all 500 of those badges, and it was just a wonderful experience. And to see how many people that it touched and genuinely, brought, some tears to their eyes, and it made me cry a little bit too. But to help them feel enabled, it was magical. So
it's
Yeah.
so
You've
wholesome.
You've really connected like everyone. I mean, in the queer community to the allies to just being connected, I think is a major contribution that you have added.
I'm just happy that I can continue that.
And it's so much more important now more than ever with everything that's going on. So, continue doing what you're doing, my friend. It's very, very gratefully received. And I remember on the cruise when the penny dropped for me was when you would see all the staff on the cruise wearing the badges. And I was like, it was just so amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I hope to repeat that for this cruise. So.
Oh,
Excellent.
good. Now, badges hasn't been your only thing. You have been doing some, again, amazing and so creative. Like, it's so great. So you've been creating some show signs, right?
Yeah. Yep. Do we want to walk through the slides and then kind of showcase some of theirs? So I thought this was creative, like, crafting the future with, 3D printed badges and signs. So if we want to go to the next. And this is just like covering the mission statement that we've kind of morphed into, right, since we started all this. And then I also wanted to showcase the Viewscreen badges because those are the new Viewscreen badges that we designed for you all. So we can hand those out. That would be awesome.
We'll get to that later.
And do you want to go to the next screen? Okay, so it's funny, when I started this, I did one badge, right? I designed one badge, and it has morphed into 20 different badge designs right now. And it's just going to continue to grow. I've had so many requests. I've had some Jorin requests. I need to work on that one still. I've expanded out to autism, neurodivergence, asexual. There's a lot that people, want to see, and I want to make sure that, again, they're seen, they're valued, they're accepted, right? So I've definitely dived in, but I wanted to make things a little more complicated and difficult. So I came up with, I don't know how I came up with this idea, but I was watching a Next Generation episode. Specifically, do you remember that season where they changed the intro, where the Star Trek, The Next Generation, kind of like had this little background effect to it?
That was
season 5.
I think it was season 5.
5.
Yeah.
You're right. 5. Yep.
So and they stopped. It was only season 5, which is sad. I like that effect, but I saw that episode and I saw that I was like, it would be really fun to create Star Trek signs and kind of, recreate that effect with some LED lights. So that's what I've done. And there you can see my first prototype of the Star Trek: The Next Generation sign there. So
Brilliant.
that's the next step in the
Yeah.
in the 3D crafting and designing. And we can kind of go over some of the mistakes and messes that I've made. You want to move on to the next slide? So, yeah, this was not very appealing to me. Like I was like, okay, let's see how I want to start this, right? So obviously I started with the letters. That was the easiest part to do.
Hmm.
But then I couldn't decide, how do I want to frame this, right? How do I want to make this case functional? And I did this design, and it was like, okay, let's design it. Let's print it out. And it doesn't even stand. It just falls over. So obviously it's a learning curve, right? And then I realized that, oh, these things are so big that I can't print everything on one print bed, right? Because the print bed is only like 256 millimeters by 256 millimeters. So I had to learn how to design something, then cut it, and then print the pieces, and then join it together. So that's one of
Wow.
the wonderful, fun things that I've been doing. And this is pretty much my first test case. And I think, Amy, I sent you some of these pictures.
Yeah.
And I was lucky to have, filament for the blue pieces to make it look that color. But yeah, this is the first iteration and it was the last. I was like, nope, this is ugly. It doesn't stand straight. I'm not a fan. So then I just kept getting, some ideas in my head. If you want to move on to the next screen. So I decided, what if we do like a light box, right? So a case that actually can stand, it doesn't fall over.
Yes.
A little more square. It's balanced much better. So it started designing in the Shaper 3D software, came up with this design, and that is actually that sign right there.
Oh, wow.
So I'm super happy with how it turned out. It was a lot of work, and yeah, I'm just really thrilled with that one.
So is the light behind it also blue, or is the blue because of the lettering, the filament that you used?
I'm glad you asked. So
Huh.
it is blue because let me change it. I don't know if you can see it change in the background. I have software to make it change colors.
Wow.
So there is a little ESP32 device in there that runs a software called WLED, and it allows you to address the LEDs individually, make changes, effects. So in this
Oh.
particular case, it's blue, but I can change it to whatever color I would like. So you
Oh,
can even do
nice.
rainbow, whatever you want. So
I was thinking, JJ, when you were talking about the season 5 warp effect, because you have like the individual striations, you could do that in your pride flag representation with different color LEDs, and that's very in fitting with your brand.
yes, yeah, and I have made that a rainbow, and it's really pretty, but I've been sticking to the color of the show. So
Brilliant.
so after this, right? Like I was like, this was easier to do because this was 4 different pieces ultimately that get put together and glued, but they all fit on the print bed, right? So it's within the 256 millimeter range, and it fits perfectly. There was some obviously trial and error with the measurements, trying to make sure that the things would fit within inside of each other. But I wanted to do something bigger, and I thought, since I'm going to be going on the cruise, and this is going to be the 35th anniversary of Star Trek Voyager, I want to make a Star Trek Voyager door sign for my door decoration. And so I started doing that. If you want to go to the next slide. So this, you may not be able to see some of these. I just realized some there's some of the CAD designing that I did, but ultimately, and I can show you, I printed these into different pieces. So I broke the sign up.
Massive.
Yeah. So I broke the sign up into different pieces, and then you just glue it together. So this one's kind of glued together, and it just, slides right in.
Wow.
And then there's individual pieces for the letters. This is where the light shines the colors through. So it just literally pops into the plastic. And then there's letter caps that glue right on top, just like that. And then so you end up getting that lighting effect through the sides, just like the other one. It took a lot of trial and error to figure out, but I finished my first prototype. If you want to see it.
Yes, please.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay, sorry, it's plugged in at the moment, so gotta be. All right, here we go. The finished prototype.
JJ, it looks so professional. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
I can't believe how well it turned out. So it looks amazing, and you can see the colors. In this particular case, I picked these colors because the blue and green in Voyager, I was like, oh, I've got to do that, right?
Yeah.
So I kept with their same logo colors, like the silver for the Star Trek piece, and like the goldish bronze for the Voyager, and then the lighting effects there.
Brilliant. Well, it's getting a lot of love already in the chat. How's that going to stand up on the door on the cruise? I'd be scared every time the door closed in case it fell off and smashed. How are you going to fix it on?
So, funny story. Well, I had planned this in advance, right? I was like, okay, this is obviously got to stick on the door with magnets, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So on the back here, you can't see it because I covered it with a velvet black fabric and glued it on. But there are probably like 25 to 30 neodymium magnets right underneath here.
Wow.
And I made the mistake of so I glued them all on to the back first. I made the mistake of not putting this wonderful fabric on to protect whatever I was going to put it on. And I chose my fridge to stick it on. Unfortunately, it was so hard to get off the fridge that when I tried to slide it off, I scratched my fridge.
Oh,
was like,
no.
Yeah, I was so mad at myself. So now there's a little scratch on my stainless steel fridge. I'm like, oh, you idiot. But oh well. So I was like, let's cover this up. Let's not do that on this ship. And so this is what we got.
Well, at least we know it's secure. It's not going to go falling off, or no one's going to be able to rip it off and steal it.
No, it is really hard to get off of there. In fact, I'm going to have to slide, even with the fabric on the back, it's hard to slide it off of the fridge. So I even put it on my dishwasher, because you know how your dishwasher door and you throw it up and down. And I tried that several times. It stuck. It didn't fall off. So,
nice.
And then I have
is it going to be lit? Okay, it will be battery operated. Okay.
Yep. And the magnets will actually stick to the cabin door as well. And they're rechargeable, and they last about 10.5 hours. So the sign will be lit for about 21 hours a day, and about 3 hours it'll need a break. But that's what you can do.
Oh my gosh.
As we all do on the cruise after a few hours.
Yeah. But
that is beautiful, JJ.
Thank you. I love it. I'm going to be doing like everything, like Lower Decks, Deep Space Nine, TOS. Can't wait.
Amazing.
Wow. Yes.
Now, Amy, we have something special to announce, don't we? Would you like to do the honors with JJ?
Yes. So JJ has been gracious, kind enough to offer the Viewscreen our own badge to give away to those who watch us live. I'm so excited. JJ, you just gave this generous to us. So we would like for you in the chat, if you would like your own Viewscreen limited edition, please type season 3 premiere in the chat, and I or JJ will reach out to you and get you your own Viewscreen badge. So please type in the chat season 3 premiere right now.
Brilliant. And thank you, JJ, for really helping us drive some numbers here on the view screen and get some viewer engagement. It's really generous of you to do that. So yeah, special edition only being given away to viewers of the view screen. So go ahead and put a message in your chat, as Amy said, if you would like one, and we'd send one out to you.
Yes.
Don't put any postage details in the chat. We don't need it. We'll do all that offline. We don't want to break any GDPR rules, but we'll get you one in the mail.
I have one here to show as an example. It even says season 3 on the back of it.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Love
Brilliant.
it. Oh,
Thank
you. Yay.
And then when everyone comes up to you at convention saying, you've got your Delta on upside down, you can say, no, it's because it's a V for the view screen. And you can tell people all about it and where you got them. So thank you so much, JJ.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, and thank you for what you do. I love tuning into this show on Sundays. It's fun. It's nice to see everybody, the family or extended family. So I love it. So thank you for what you all do. I really enjoy it.
Oh, bless you. Let's bring in Ben and Kristin. Now, Kristin, I said earlier, you came to visit me in August last year, and because I wasn't able to attend STLV a few weeks before, you graciously got a lot of the JJ's pin badges off and transported them to Manchester for me. So I've got a great stash of JJ's back collection of designs. So thank you, JJ, and thank you, Kristin, for bringing them all the way here to Britain.
Oh, my pleasure. He did all the work. It was so awesome. There were so many amazing ones.
Right?
So many. It was
how many do you have, Kristin?
I have a lot. Because JJ was gracious enough too, like some of us when we just put them in our pockets, and when JJ was out of pins, we have more pins for you because I think if it was right, JJ, you didn't have a lot of space in your pockets. So
no, it's funny, right? Because I bring a bunch with me, right? But I never think about carrying them and giving them to people or how I'm going to do that. I just we'll just stick them in my pocket, right? And hand them out. Because I guess I'm not expecting how popular they are, but they are so popular that everybody comes up and they're like, where did you get that pin? And it's like, oh, well, here you go. And so walking around at STLV or even Nashville, right? When we were at Star Trek Nashville, Jeremy and Christian and everyone would be like, hey, we've got some in our pockets, right? And I love that because it's not just me who's giving them away, right? It's everybody who's giving them away. It's everybody. Yeah, I love it.
Well, being with JJ in STLV last year and seeing their faces like he was talking about, the people would be so happy and they'd be very gracious, but they would cry, and they felt very so much love from that, and like being part, like you said, of that community. And they just people just couldn't believe, because they were like, oh my God, you're the guy who makes those, and people were just freaking out, and they're like shaking his hand, and it brought people so much love, and it was so awesome just to watch and see that and just be on the sidelines watching how much joy, because JJ's so amazing anyways, and his heart's so full, and so to have people recognize that was awesome.
Yeah, the last time on the cruise, JJ, you actually gave me some, because I was having my straights come up to me and say, where'd you get that? Where'd you get that? And they were like admiring the, pride. And I was like, I'm going to get you some because we need allies too. So it really just brings everyone together.
Yeah. Yep. And then I was saying I was expanding towards autism and neurodivergence, right? So I've actually created a couple autism badges.
Oh, wonderful.
So there's this one, and then this one for neurodivergence.
So,
yeah.
Yes.
So I'll have a couple of the options of those on the cruise, and then obviously at the other conventions and stuff to give out too. But it's nice because I've seen and met people who are both neurodivergent and autistic at the conventions, and I'm like, I need to do this. I want to do this, so I did it.
Bless you. Ben, I see you've got one of JJ's on there. Have you got some of the other fashionable varieties that he's got? Have you got a favorite?
Not yet, but I look forward to expanding my repertoire.
Well, just come to STLV, you know.
He's going to get them on the cruise, Amy.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I was trying to get him to STLV, though.
STLV, I'll bring more options, though. So the cruise, I'm really trying to focus on Voyager. So it's going to be predominantly these ones. But STLV, I'll bring the entire set. So
Got to set you a challenge, JJ. You've got to get all of the cast members of Voyager seen wearing with them.
Oh, that's a wonderful challenge. Yeah, let's try to do that.
Oh, yes.
I actually made a Borg rainbow one for Jerry Ryan. I have a picture scheduled with her, so I'm going to be giving her one of those. So, yeah.
Brilliant.
Nice. Well, Kit in the comments says those neurodivergent badges are amazing, as they are. And Jonathan says, it is in the true spirit of Star Trek to give away without asking for anything in return, just because you can. And that's very, very true. Davey says, such a talent. Lots of love.
Oh, good morning, Davey. He's very early in Australia.
Davey, I'm confused. Are you Double T Media or are you Trexperts Quiz? I'm so confused.
He's both. He's bolstering the numbers for us, Amy. We'll have it. Thank you. Double keyboarding. Brilliant. JJ, thank you so much for coming on again and sharing your talent and just for sharing in general. It is really what you do, and you know, we love you for it. And guys, thank you very much for coming on, having a chat.
Thank y'all so much.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Oh, what a fantastic show we've had. My goodness.
Yeah. Let's have a look at what we've got coming up next week. If we can just show our little preview slide, please, David. So next week is a very special, we're going for an online theme next week. So we welcome back Kristin with the news. She joins us for our remaining 7 weeks of the run. So we can't wait to get her back. But we are joined by Davey from the Trexperts Quiz, but also from Bargain Bin Gamer, another show on the network. So Davey's going to come representing the online gaming community, talking about some of the games that he maybe have reviewed recently on Bargain Bin Gamer or some Star Trek video games. And also, I'm delighted that we are joined by the queen of memes herself. Robin is coming to join us and talk about sharing all of these memes that have got her thousands and thousands of followers all over social media. You would all have seen Robin's content out there, so we're delighted. And a special reunion for Davey and Robin, who often cosplay together at conventions. So I'm sure we'll be talking Orion cosplay. So bring your green paints with you next week because you're going to need it.
That is so exciting. I cannot wait. And excited to meet Robin as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring everyone back for one final time while we do a little bit of a roundup. So yeah, thanks to everyone for joining us on the show today. Thanks to David, as we all know, works behind the scenes producing the show for us. So David, thank you too. Thank you to all of the viewers who have logged on and give us some great numbers for our season premiere. So thank you.
Yes.
And yeah, let's do a little bit of a roundup of where people can find you online. So Christian, where can people come and get you?
At Instagram is the best way.
Okay, what's your handle?
Look up Christian Carter, and you'll just see my mug on it. You like that? See me. That's it. Just message it out.
Brilliant. Thanks, Christian.
Thank you.
And JJ, before you leave us, tell us where can people find you online? I suspect you're going to have a lot of messages.
Yeah, I do have a website, genediah.com, and you can actually get the badges still free through that website. You only have to pay for shipping. Unfortunately, I don't have things set up to ship worldwide. I only have Canada and the in the US. So unfortunately, I'll have to meet people at the conventions to give them their free badges. So,
Oh, darn.
oh, darn.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, JJ. We'll
Thank
see you really
you.
soon. And finally, Ben, where can people find you online?
You can find my Trek content on Twitter at Gaily Trekking, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram with my first and last name.
Brilliant.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
We will see you soon. Have a fabulous time on the cruise.
Thank you so much, and thank you again for the invite.
Thank you.
So, Amy, where can people find you online when we're not hosting the view screen?
Well, you can find us hosting All Good Things, but you can also find me hosting Union Federation, where we get to talk about the Orville as well. And we are doing our character reviews. Very excited. We've already covered the 2 security chiefs. So please find us there at Union Federation. I am on Bluesky at Counselor Amy. And of course, the network there at BQN Podcast. I'm sort of running that too. Then Kelvin, where can people find you?
You can find me over most of the social networks at Kelvin's Timeline, as you see it on screen there. I have taken the decision not to boycott Meta because I think it is important to show visibility, especially when people are trying to erase certain communities. So I am loud and proud all over social media for the haters to see whether they want to or not. And there I shall remain. So yeah, come and interact with me on Twitter, Instagram, Threads. I do have a Bluesky account, but I've not made the transition over there yet. There's just a lot to maintain, isn't there?
Yeah, there is a lot.
But I'm in the BQN Collective Facebook group as well, and that's my favorite place to chat with people over there. And on Discord, my God, we're everywhere.
And our Discord server, please. It's right there in the show notes. Just click. There's the Discord. Really fun discussion there with everyone. So
brilliant.
Yes.
Right.
And
well, there we go.
Yes. Huge thank you to our Patreon members for your ongoing support for our show. Special thanks to JJ for being our associate producer. You know, you're not going to hear commercials from us. That's one thing that we really take seriously. So if you would like to contribute and please support, please go to patreon.com/BQN.
And remember that if Patreon isn't your thing, you can still show support for the show and the network just by sharing some of our posts on social media, interacting, commenting, liking, all of that jazz. And make sure you talk about us with your friends as well to drive some viewers our way.
Yeah.
So thank you once more to all of our guests today. Thank you to you, Amy, for joining me. I love doing this show with you and seeing all our friends every Sunday. So thank you for everyone, whether you're watching us live or on catch up and listening to us as a podcast.
Now, next week, we're starting 1 hour later.
We are indeed, because we have the lovely Davey in Australia. It is incredibly early because of the time difference. So we are 1 hour later. Don't worry, the clocks haven't changed. Everything's fine. But it'll be 10 a.m. for you, Amy. It'll be 6 p.m. for our UK viewers. And poor Davey, 5 a.m., which I will say he did volunteer as a time.
Yes.
So he's getting up on a Monday morning for us. Thank you, Davey.
Yes. So we will see you next week, 1 hour later. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day.